Hello everyone. My name is Galena Douglas and I'll be talking a little bit about the 7 stages of life. The part that I wanted to talk about was kind of coming of age. I completed my rites of passage. My last year was in 2012. So prior, I've been doing my rites of passage for 4 years. You do your rites of passage for 7 years, but you're guided for the first four. So when I did my first year, I was out there for 1 day and 1 night. And then my second year, I fasted for 2 days and 2 nights, and then, so on until four. And the longest that I've ever fasted was for five. Um, and it wasn't really a full day. It was like that fifth morning I came out and we had our feast and everything. So I kind of wanted to talk about the ceremony rites of passage. So when my moon time came for the first time, I had a moon ceremony, and for that it was just kind of celebrating me coming into my womanhood, coming into my power of being a life giver. And it was really a moving time for me, I think, because I had a lot of confusion and, you're a young teen, you're adolescent, and it kind of feels weird in a way coming into it. I didn't know the power about it at the time, so I felt a little weird about it. But it was very nice. It was a very emotional day. I remember we did a sweat lodge in the morning, and in the sweat lodge was just me and my mom and dad. Then after, my grandmother came in to join us, and they just talked about kind of giving me advice going into womanhood. And then later in the evening, we had our whole family, all the women come. And, I had some of my uncles, some of my cousins that were male, and they stayed outside of the house because it was all taking place inside. So they're outside tending to the fire. And, the women came in and they all gave me words of advice on, how to be a woman and what it means to be a woman and the responsibility that you have as a woman. And then later on, they brought the men in, and then the men gave me advice on how, to carry myself as a woman, and what to look for in a partner was a lot. Thinking about it, it's getting me emotional again because I had a really good, I had a really good day, and I'm thinking of all the advice that was given to me that day, and, just the power behind it of, not only was it people in our longhouse and in our community that came, but a lot of it was from my family. So that really means something, and that's something that I think I'll cherish forever. And I can't wait until my kids, my daughter goes through her moon ceremony and my son goes through his rites of passage. So, that's something that I'm thankful for. And, then going into your first years of fasting, it was a challenge. My first year, I was really excited. I knew I could do it. It was 1 day and 1 night. My second year, I did it fine. But my third year, I actually skipped. I wasn't on the right path. I wasn't in the right mind. I kind of drifted away from our traditions. I was about 15, 16, so I thought I knew everything. I thought I knew what was best for me, and I was rebellious, and I didn't like to listen to anybody. So that was a year that was kind of, I stayed off the path. And then, the next year, I seen a few people who were my age and in my, first and second year fasting who were completing theirs. And I said, you know what? I need to go back. I need to do it. And in all honesty, it was my grandmother and my parents who kind of gave me, the kick in the behind to, get back and get back to our ways. And so I got back to my third year. And I think that was my toughest year because I was so disconnected with the path that I should be on, the good path. I was so disconnected from having a good mind. And so it was a big challenge for me. Um, it seemed so long. I had a lot of challenges mentally to work through, and but I did it. I did it. I can sit here and I say that I did it. And going through the fasting, even though all the preparations, because it's not just okay, I'm going fasting on this day and then that's it. I'm going to Longhouse every weekend with all of the initiates that we're going through Rites of Passage from years 1 through 4. And I am, I'm there and I'm working with them, and we work on different things. We work on preparations. We work on getting our baskets made, our sweat lodges that we're going to stay in made, how to make our fire. Because when you're out there, you're in your sweat lodge by yourself, no food or water, and you're keeping your fire going. You're praying, so those things you have to prepare yourself for. You have to be mentally there. You have to be physically there. You have to be emotionally there, that you're going to be away from your mother and father. You're going to be in the woods. You're not going to see anybody around you. When we pick our sites, they make sure you're far enough away to where you can't see people. In my 3rd year, they knew I was struggling, and I actually completed my 3rd year with my cousin. And she was in distant range. Like, I could see her. I could see the smoke coming up. And, she was telling me the story after that. She was sitting there and she's like, oh my God, like, I don't hear Galano Douglas. Like, I think she's out. I don't see her fire or anything. And, she's like, she's gone. Like, she's like, that's it. I'm done. Like, I can't do this anymore. And she said right after she said that, she started hearing me cry. And I cried. I cried a lot during my 3rd year. I think that was probably my biggest turnaround. My 4th year, I went into it by myself. There was no, I should have said this in the beginning. When your 1st year, you're kind of in the circle, because people are checking up on you. In your 2nd year, they're making sure you're good. Your 3rd year, you're out in the woods. And that's when the real challenge comes. So my 4th year, 3rd years are kind of in the beginning of the bush. Easy access for people to come in and out. But your 4th year, you're way in the back. And they're trying to get you as secluded as you can. And, I was the only girl out there. I was by myself. I can't really go into full depth of the teachings that came my 4th year because they were very powerful for me. I came into my gift. I came into who I was. I came into my power, and that's something sacred to me that I hold to myself and I don't share with a lot of people. But it was a huge, huge gratification and honor to come out, and because we're so far in the bush that they canoe us from our point of the bush, because there's a little stream there, and they canoe us where our gathering circle is, and our community was there. And to be the only girl in the group and to feel that strength, that power a woman has, it is such an undeniable feeling. And I radiated that day, and I still do, thinking about it. Like, it was such a powerful time in my life. And the one teaching that I was taught was, especially when I was, went on my own to do my fasting, and I still do fasting. I find for me, it's one of those things where I feel I need to reconnect myself and ground myself. I will reach out to people wherever I am, and I will go fasting. My goal is to be like my grandmother, even though she's passed, she went fasting, she went fasting all over Canada and all over the US and all these sacred places. And she has all these teachings and lessons. And, you get these lessons and they're straight from the Creator, and they're so powerful and sacred. And, I still do that on my own. And one of the biggest things that I learned when I went on my own was, your first day, you pray for your community. You pray for everything good in your community. You wish good on everybody. You don't carry nothing negative in your mind, regardless of anybody who's ever did you wrong. You always hold a positive place for them in your heart. And then your second day, you're praying for your family, you know, your immediate family. You pray for their health. You pray for well-being. You pray that they have a good mind, a strong mind, and in good health. And the third day, you pray for the Creator. You give thanks for Him. That's the full day of just giving thanks to the Creator. You know, you give thanks for having the life and to give life and, you know, all the gifts that He's giving you. Because Creator, you know, gives you so much, so many gifts. Everybody has so many gifts. Everybody has a gift. Whether they think it or not, everybody is sent on Mother Earth for a purpose, and they all have a gift. And then your fourth day is for yourself. And I think that's why my fourth year was so powerful for me too, was being able to pray for myself. And, you know, when you're a teenager, you have a lot, oh, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I'm not this and that. That was what I had a lot of. So when my fourth day came, I really wanted to change that around, and I prayed really hard for myself. And, you know, so that's just some teachings that I wanted to share with you about, you know, 7 stages of life and the stage of life where we're coming into our adulthood.